As brave as I'm going to be, sir.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Mark Brinkman, and I'll be officiating as this bittersweet day for Jerry and his family. First of all, it's an honor. Thank you. It's always it's a privilege and an honor to get to retire you today. It's kind of an exciting thing that you think of me when the end of your career. I don't know if that's. I'll take it as a good thing and not a bad thing. And Jerry said this is going to be kind of small. That's kind of how he rolls. He just kind of sits in the back, low key. So I don't have a long, drawn out 3-hour speech. But there are a couple things I do want to say. One is I'm excited for both of y'all. After 22 years in the Marine Corps, it's been a good ride. I'm sure you've enjoyed it. I'm sure you'll have a lot of great stories as you're smoking cigars, either here on Wednesday or Friday, or you find cigar smokers in Austin and you re-link up in Austin smoking cigars. But it also starts a next exciting phase of your life, and I hopefully you're thrilled and excited and a little apprehensive at the same time. I brought a copy of Jerry's bio. I don't know if you printed it out. I'm not going to go through, but he's been a few places. He spent some time on MSG duty, spent some time doing logistics. He spent some time dealing with tough problems. I got to meet Jerry when he came to PMLEV. I got there in the summer of 12, and there was this captain that kind of sat in one of the back cubes, just quiet to himself, and it didn't take too long to discover it's not just he's got a pretty big brain sitting on those shoulders, and pretty capable of solving very complicated problems, dissecting things, delving in. So we started to exploit him and started getting him to solve tougher problems. Our time ran out in Michigan, and he came down to SIAT, where now he has computers and simulators and buildings to capture his thoughts. And hopefully, as you move on to this next phase, you'll be able to keep building on that and build on everything you've learned, and hopefully this is a huge enabler, and we'll start seeing you as a contractor coming in, or the brains behind the scenes, as we the Marine Corps have really tough problems, and Jerry Lujan's name shows up in the background as somehow helping us solve things, or in any branch of industry. So I wish you and your family nothing but the best as you move. I'm excited for you. I'm jealous that you're going to Austin. It's a great town. I hope the move goes as smooth as can be. And so with that, and without any further ado, why don't we start going through the formality?
Sure.
So those to be retired.
Attention orders. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal to Captain Jeramiah A. Lujan, United States Marine Corps, for service as set forth in the following citation. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as the Modeling and Simulations Project Manager, Modeling and Simulations Division for the Director or for the Deputy Commander, Systems Engineering, Interoperability, Architectures, and Technology, Marine Corps Systems Command, Quantico, Virginia, from June 2014 to March 2016. During this period, Captain Lujan consistently performed his duties in an exemplary and highly professional manner. He created an organic analysis capability within Marine Corps Systems Command, complete with educated personnel, sustainment training, and necessary tools that provided the Marine Corps acquisition community with an unprecedented ability to insource analytical studies and projects. Working tirelessly with the competencies across the command, Captain Lujan brought together all parties, achieving expert analysis, demonstrating a deep understanding of the acquisition process from all points of view, saving untold millions of dollars while greatly increasing the fidelity of information program managers use in making decisions. His actions and vision will ensure all future analytical efforts are centered on the programmatic process, relevant and free of cost to the program offices. Superior performance of duties as typified above highlighted the culmination of more than 22 years of honorable and dedicated Marine Corps service. Captain Lujan's tireless efforts to carry out his duties with unfailing good judgment, effectiveness, and total dedication to duty reflect great credit upon him, and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. For the President, signed, J.F. Schrader, Brigadier General, U.S. Marine Corps, Commander, Marine Corps Systems Command. It's a little bigger than normal. Certificate of Appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America. Captain Jeramiah A. Lujan, United States Marine Corps. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. I'll keep all together, sir. From the Commandant of the Marine Corps, dear Captain Lujan, upon the occasion of your retirement, I extend my sincere appreciation for your dedicated service to the Corps. During your career, the Marine Corps has been involved in combat, and it has been because of Marines like you that the Corps has acquitted itself so well on the battlefield. High standards of excellence in conduct and performance have long been our hallmark, and with them, a unique spirit that sets us apart. You can be proud to have been part of the legacy and to have attained your grade in an organization such as ours. In recognizing your long and dedicated service to the Corps, we cannot fail to acknowledge the contributions of your family over those many years. Long and frequent separations are a way of life for Marines, and it takes a very special kind of family to share the many hardships with us. We owe them our deepest gratitude. As you leave our active ranks, go with the knowledge that your distinguished service will have a lasting influence, and it has earned you a legion of friends and fellow Marines who wish you well in the coming years. The Corps is better because you served, and our nation can stand proud because it produces Marines like you. I speak for all Marines in wishing you good health and good fortune. Semper Fi, Marine. Signed, Robert F. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Captain Jeramiah A. Lujan, having served faithful and honorably, was retired from the United States Marine Corps on the first day of June 2016. Signed, Robert F. Neller, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. And at this time, if Jerry's family can please join one up front.
That had to be fun.
United States Marine Corps Certificate of Appreciation presented to Helena Lujan. On the occasion of the retirement of your spouse from active duty, you have earned the Corps' grateful appreciation for your unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible your spouse's lasting contributions to a grateful nation. Given under my hand this 30th day of March 2016, Mike O'Neill, Director, M&S Vision. And at this time, Jerry's wife and daughters are getting flowers.
Floor is yours.
Floor is mine. At ease, please have a seat. So thank everybody for coming. I really do appreciate it. As was pointed out, I'm usually one that likes low key, so I'm glad that the size is just this size. You know, I thought long and hard about what I want to say after 22 years in the Marine Corps, what I want to say to everybody. I know there's dibs out there and bets if I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to. First of all, I want to give thanks to God, you know, because He's got me where I am today. And it's kind of funny. Every single person I've ever worked for, when I first went to work with them, has had issues with me of one type or another. Probably because I'm abrasive, I'm hard to work with, whatever it may be. So if you don't believe in God, the proof is I'm actually here in front of you today, that He exists, trust me. And those of you who have worked with me know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to thank my beautiful wife for standing by me all this time. And, you know, and the other thing I really want to say thank you to is we all know that, you know, this hurts the family, right? The Marine Corps can hurt the family a lot, and it takes a lot to keep them together. And I want to give a special thanks to my two daughters, Victoria and Elizabeth. These two little girls here used to get up when I was a first lieutenant in the infantry. They used to get up at 5:30 in the morning, or 5 in the morning, be ready to get out the door by 5. They go to a daycare, go to daycare at 6, and then I go over to an infantry battalion, work as the S4 there the whole entire day, get out of there and race in my Mustang like 80 miles an hour, you know, in California to get there by 6 o'clock to pick them up so we can go home, have dinner, watch a movie, and they can go to sleep so we can do it all over again. And they endured so much. I've missed a good portion of their lives because of the Marine Corps. And I've done my duty, and I don't look back with regret, but to you two wonderful little girls, I really appreciate you. And I know the Marine Corps has affected you as well, and it shouldn't anymore, but thank you, Elizabeth and Victoria. Sir, thanks for coming out and doing this for me. I really appreciate it. I always like to have folks I really respect interact with me and present awards if I ever get any, stuff like that, so I really do appreciate it. So I thought about what am I going to talk about here? What can I say? I think when you come to the end of a journey, you kind of start to look back at the beginning of the journey. And for me, the beginning of the journey was on the Yellow Footsteps in San Diego, where, you know, I got yelled at like everybody else and got there and like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And I started thinking back, one of the first things I learned was the general orders. And believe it or not, I actually remember most of them, but the one that I remember is the second general order, which is to receive, obey, and pass on to the sentry who leaves me, orders of the commanding officer, yada, yada, yada. And I thought to myself, that's actually pretty applicable here, because anybody in uniform, or is a prior Marine, in effect, is a century of the honor and ethos of the Marine Corps. And I have taken that job very, very seriously and really to heart. Maybe I took it too far at times, but so I kind of thought, if I'm retiring after 22 years, in 22 years I must have learned something I could pass on to other people, to other Marines, especially in uniform, of this is what I've learned. Now, we've all stood post before. Anybody who's been in uniform stood post before. And if you go to change over with the guy in post, if you walk up there after, and he's all tired after 24 hours and you're coming on post, if he goes, yeah, okay, you're coming on, thanks for getting here, everything you want to know is in the orders, and he kind of leaves, that's not what you want for a changeover. That's not passing on anything. You want to, hey, what's going on? Is the boss coming in today? Is there a dignitary coming in? Is there something I need to know? What can you tell me from your time that you've spent that will help me? So I've thought of two things. And anybody that knows me knows I can be rather candid at times. And I could really say what I mean. Sometimes it could be a little bit too much. So I'll preface this with something very important, that I love the Marine Corps. And the time that I look back on the Marine Corps is going to be the most proud in my life. And I have the distinct pleasure and honor of, unless I become a preacher or a brain surgeon or something like that, everything I do from here on out is not going to be as important as what I did as an active duty Marine, an officer leading Marines in combat and out of combat. And there's nothing really wrong with the Marine Corps, so to speak, but I think there are some things that those of us those of you who continue to wear the uniform, I think if I could pass on something, this is what it is. It used to be, when I first joined the Marine Corps, that the Marine Corps was a bulwark against society out there. It was what it is. It didn't care what America was whatsoever. And that has slowly changed over the years. For better or worse, whatever it may be, it's changed a little bit. And as I see, kind of bureaucracy increasing and the orders getting more specific and stuff, it's kind of called me to think of, we all want to do the right thing, and officers and staff NCOs want to do the right thing. And I think in some cases, the orders maybe cause people to restrict their actions. It's not for lack of courage, it's not for lack of they don't know what the right thing to do is, but I see things shifting a little bit that, hey, just follow the black and white. And I'll call everybody that remains in uniform that that's not the right thing to do all the time. Whatever that right thing to do is, we need to remember what that is and actually do it. And if the orders allow you to do it, then do it. If not, then you need to find a way to maneuver within those orders. I was personally, and you've all reached this where you go to admin or something like that, and the guy behind the counter says, well, sir, you have to do A, B, and C because that's what it says. Well, that's not what works here in my situation, but that's what it says here. We've all kind of faced that before. And that special trust and confidence as officers, and the staff NCOs, I think, need to be able to break that. The other thing I think is, just as important, and I'm really glad our commandant, who, is sitting in the chair right now, is there. I actually met General Miller when I was in Iraq. He was the IMF CG, and he had an officer's call, and he had all the captains and lieutenants around him. He said something that really stuck with me in my heart that was so important. He said, he had everybody in front of him. He was talking about ROEs, okay, when to shoot, when not to shoot, all that kind of stuff. And he said, if you have to give the order to fire, don't worry about the consequences. It says, the Marines' hands are clean. No blood will ever be on their hands because I'm telling you to do this, so any blood that's shed out there is on my hands. He took a moral responsibility for what happens in combat. And in today's society, as young Marines come in, there is a real absence of moral and spiritual guidance in the young folks that are coming in nowadays. And popular culture and society out there likes to turn away from those things. Morality and spirituality, we're not going to touch those things. But I was actually out here not too long ago, and there were a few generals out there, a retired general and two active duty generals. I won't say who they are for fear of reprisal. But I asked them a question. I said, do you think that today's Marines are as disciplined as they need to be able to carry on, the torch of the Marine Corps? And I got kind of the standard answer. The Marines today are the smartest, most tech savvy, et cetera, et cetera. And those are all great things, but that's not what got the guys at Belleau Wood past the day. That's not what won the day at Quezon. Those aren't the things that embody the Marine Corps tech savviness and intelligence. It's the spirit of the Marine. And today, as the young Marines come in that are missing some of that guidance, I think it's all the more important that leaders out there address those things, because it's the fighting spirit of the Marine Corps that's actually going to get us to carry on, into the next decades. It's not going to be how smart we are or how good we are at computers or anything like that. It's going to be those other qualities, the discipline things that make us Marines. So I would say, anybody that's in a leadership position, I would say those two things. Remember what the right thing to do is, and foster that spiritual development, moral development in our young Marines, because I think they really need it. Because in the end, we are at service to defend our nation, and there will come a time in the future where young Marines will be asked to go out and kill other people. And you can't shy away from when they pull that trigger and somebody falls on the other end. There is a spiritual and moral effect that's going to happen on a young Marine. If you don't address it up front and build that Marine up front, I think we may face issues in the future. So again, I say this because I love the Marine Corps, and in 20 years, I want to look at the Marine Corps, what it is in 20 years, and be just as proud of being a Marine then as I am now. So again, thanks everybody for coming out. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time. If you could stay and have a few beers or a few drinks, I ask that you do. And every single one of you that I've worked with, I've enjoyed working with you. I have a lot of friends here. And as I get ready to transition and move, I really do ask that I be able to stay in contact with every single person here. Everybody here is special to me in some way, that's a friend to me in some way, and just because I retire, I don't want to just cut that off and that's all there is. You know, I want to have that camaraderie afterward. If nothing else, just to have good friends around. So again, to everybody here, thank you so much. Semper Fidelis. That's it. The bar is open.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. 22 years. How dare we give something strictly to a 3.5-year-old? Thanks,
Take it away from the screen. Thank you for doing it, though. I was able to tell.
Hit me up on that for a few years here. Thanks for coming out, man.
Maybe get her like
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, something's strong.
Good to see you again. All right, now we'll go get Yeah, please do.
Good speech, man.
Thank you.
I've been out there for years. It's okay.
That's what I said.
Thanks for coming. And you too. Thanks so much. Your boss is Thanks. John again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's good working with you. Yeah, but you're still good things. Are you still staying? Are you moving out? You are? Right down the road from me, huh? Contact it. If I got you on Facebook, thank you so much.
You know where to find us.
Yeah, exactly.
Cowboy stage, man.
I don't have one either. I got you on LinkedIn, right?
I'm always staying in town. I won't be in my town.
Far away, huh? John, say thanks for that. Truth hurts sometimes. Which one? He's on leave.
He is. But funny, I told him last week.
Yes,
I told him last week that it was last year. Then I looked at my calendar and said,
that's all right. I'll give him some grief.
good.
I'll find some.
Good luck in Texas.
Find your boat? Pretty much. How's it going? Well, it's on the because in Oslo, right down the block, the snow, whatever, you always like dying away from the Not yet. I'm going.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thanks.
Thanks for all your help.
Absolutely.
It's exciting.
This is the big event. Congratulations again.
I got you a tequila. I heard you're going to Texas. Did you like that?
I told you, so I wasn't able to get this but I want to cut.
Stay over here, like here. You can look over here.
I like it, but it's,
Those will be your ending comments. But wait, man, can I start?
would you like something else?
So you can look in the camera. So no tear.
No tears. I want a cut. I want a cut of the bed.
Cold.
I owe him money.
Good.
I'll put it in for the flowers that Mike just got. So I'll just Mike and Mike can give it to you.
That's
You gotta
good.
get a
That's
picture
good.
here. You can do this. So when you go get your picture, you can show the other guys on the no-fly list.
Yeah, and I had to stop this car.